I just imported those files. There's 4 files in here. And part of you being a great director in the future is that you always do coverage for the editorial. That's the whole thing, all right? You don't want to be editing on camera, and that's the biggest mistake first time you're probably doing work like this. It's that in your head, you already know what you want. And that's the problem. No one else knows, just you. So when you shoot stuff and you go like, oh, we don't need that because I know I'm just going to cut this to this shot. And it makes sense. You could be a genius. It could work. But your actors sometimes can be unpredictable. They're not going to act exactly the same. And you're never going to be able to put those two together. It just doesn't work. Right? For all we know, your actor might be looking up a little bit on the other and then looking down a little bit. It's not going to work. So that's why there's multiple takes for safety and variations in performance. So let's say Nelson is delivering a line. I said, hey, Nelson, I know you're supposed to be angry when you deliver this. Can you make it less angry? When you do that performance and you don't have that less angry take for the other shots, there's no way that's going to be continuing on the next shot. Does that make sense? So as a director, you need to be processing all these shots that you want your actors to do and make sure you're shooting for the editorial that this is a great close-up performance of Nelson. Do we have that same great performance on a wider shot? Because otherwise it's trapped in there. You can't edit it. It won't connect to anything, right? So here, let's do some logging, okay? Our first shot here. This one is called close-up. Okay, let's display the whole thing.
5, take 1.
Congratulations on your presentation.
Not yet. Wait for action.
Okay. Caroline, keep an eye on Georgia. The minute Georgia walks off, you do your thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay, sound running?
Did we cut?
Yeah.
No, you're still rolling.
Yeah.
Okay, we're all set.
Background. And action.
Congratulations on your presentation. Fantastic technology.
Oh, thank you. I'm so glad you really liked it. Thank you.
Wish all the best for your company.
Fantastic speech.
Oh, thank you.
So inspiring.
Thank you.
It's just amazing. It just made me think about so many things.
Dr. Sarah Kaminsky,
Yes.
I'm Agent Jenkins. This is Agent Lopez. Need you to come with us right away.
Is everything okay, Sarah?
Sure. Yeah. I'm sure it is. I'll see you soon. Okay.
Yeah, be in touch.
Cut.
All right, so that entire scene doesn't make any sense to us, but that's a close-up. You're shooting for editorial, so this is a close-up of the shot, okay? Again, these are highly curated already. Imagine if this is reality, you're probably going to get 5 takes of those, okay, or more. And that's how it works, right? So let's do another one here. This one is a wide shot take of the exact same thing, except it's not the whole run through. As you can see, the agents only approach her and then didn't say anything. You don't even know who the agents are. We never saw them. But let's watch this one.
Okay, rolling. 1, 6, take 5.
Camera set. Background. Action.
Congratulations on your presentation.
Thank you.
We love the technology.
Thanks a lot. Bye. Hey.
Making more sense now, right?
Yeah, I need one of these.
Dr. Sarah Kaminsky,
Yeah.
I'm Agent Jenkins. This is Agent Lopez. Need you to come with us right away.
Sure.
Is everything okay, Sarah?
Yeah, I'm sure it's fine. I'll catch up with you later.
Yeah, I'll be around if you need me.
So you're going to tell me what this is about?
We need your help. It's a matter of national security.
My help? Sorry. You'll have to do better than that.
Okay.
Level your
We don't have a lot of time here, so I'm going to cut right to the chase. We believe one of your sinks is carrying a deadly weaponized package.
You mean like a virus? That would be possible.
Oh, it's possible, Dr. Kaminsky, because it's happening. I need you to tell me everything you know about the sinks. Their routes, their drop points. We need to know everything.
That's kind of like the CDC asking everyone at CFNI. It's like, I want to know where everyone walked. Okay, let's watch another one. This is a wide angle, but it's a different take. Okay, this is take two.
Cameras running. Boom rolling. 1, 6, take 5. Camera set.
Probably wondering why it's take two.
Action.
Congratulations on your presentation.
Thank you.
We love the technology.
Thanks a lot. Bye.
That is the worst handshake ever.
Thank you.
So great. How are you?
Yeah, I need one of these.
Dr. Sir Kaminsky,
Yeah.
I'm Agent Jenkins. This is Agent Lopez. I need you to come with us right away.
Sure.
Is everything okay, Sarah?
Yeah, I'm sure it's fine. I'll catch up with you later.
Yeah, I'll be around if you need me.
So you're gonna tell me what this is about?
We need your help. It's a matter of national security.
My help? Sorry. You'll have to do better than that.
Okay. We don't have a lot of time here, so I'm going to cut right to the chase. We believe one of your sinks is carrying a deadly weaponized package.
You mean like a virus? That wouldn't be possible.
Oh, it's possible, Dr. Kaminsky, because it's happening. I need you to tell me everything you know about the sinks. Their routes, their drop points. We need to know everything.
All right. Are you bored yet? I mean, this is your job. Watching stuff over and over. And last one?
Cameras running. Boom rolling. Okay.
Take 2.
Okay, set.
Background. Action.
You're probably going to
We
keep
need one of
this one.
these.
So those things will be cut.
Dr. Sir Kaminsky,
Yeah.
I'm Agent Jenkins. This is Agent Lopez. I need you to come with us right away.
Sure.
Is everything okay, Sarah?
Yeah, I'm sure it's fine. I'll catch up with you later.
Okay, I'll be around if you need me.
Okay. So are you gonna tell me what this is about?
We need your help. It's a matter of national security.
My help? Sorry, you'll have to do better than that.
Okay, we don't have a lot of time here, so I'm going to cut right to the chase. We believe one of your sinks is carrying a deadly weaponized package.
You mean like a virus? That wouldn't be possible.
Well, it's possible, Dr. Kaminsky, because it's happening. I need you to tell me everything you know about the sinks. Their routes, their drop points. We need to know everything.
Cut. Straight reset.
All right. So, do you guys understand now why they shot it at multiple angles? First of all, so you're not bored out of your mind just you watching all that in a single take, because you experienced that. We watch it 4 times continuously, and it's no good right away. None of those are good at one particular angle. We know for sure there's a mistake on the actress part holding the lav mic, and she just crushed that mic, all right? So normally that would have been flagged. This is for learning lessons, so they didn't stop it. So someone's monitoring that. There's an audio person that's monitoring all that stuff, and then, all right? But you don't stop the recording on down because you know you'll have safety shots, okay? So the first shot is the close-up. Then we have 2 takes of the wide shot, and then from her point of view or over the shoulder looking at the agent, okay? Your job is to put this together from beginning to end, all right? And find the right cut to continue it. So hence it's a continuity one, right? So there's a lot to talk about this. It's a small piece, which is great for learning. However, part of editing is why we cut when we cut. There's an important aspect to that where you just don't cut simply because you want to transition to the next shot. Okay? You always find that right moment to cut and transition. However, there's some situations where you just have to transition at this particular cut because this is the only one that will connect to the other shot. If you don't have enough coverage, right? If the director really likes you and the editorial, they'll probably shoot more takes and more chances for you to do this, okay? I wouldn't film something like this where there's only 1 close-up shot, 2 wide shot, and over-the-shoulder shot on the other one. It's just too limiting, but this is for learning purpose, okay? So let's take a look. First things first is I'm going to drag all this into the media pool. Okay, and right away this thing pops up. Basically, what these files are doesn't match what's in Davinci's format. So if you answer here change, that is the correct answer. You want to change the format of Davinci to match the footage you're bringing in. Does that make sense? And if you click don't change here, then that's the first mistake right there. Okay, you only don't change when you know what you're doing, like in documentary. Okay, documentaries, they always come with mixed media. Mixed media means some of them are HD, some of them are 4K, some of them are photos, and some of them are old video archives, most likely in standard definition. But your documentary is shot mostly in 4K. So the format of your Davinci will have to be in 4K because that's the bulk of what you shot. Okay? So you made a mistake of importing first the SD. All right? And then Davinci says, hey, would you like me to change your format to SD to match your footage? And if you click change, is that correct? No. Right? Because then your edit would shrink to an SD size. You didn't mean to. All right? So what are ways to fix this issue? First is that you can tell Davinci, hey, start your timeline and format in 4K, so you don't have to worry about anything. It's 4K. Whatever you bring, don't change. It's in 4K. Or import the 4K footage first. When you bring the 4K footage first, and then Davinci asks you, hey, would you like me to change everything to 4K? When you click change, guess what? Your timeline is in 4K. When you bring in your SD, it's not going to ask you again. You already establish your format. So that's only important on the first thing you drag into the media pool. Does that make sense? Okay, always think about what is the bulk of your edit. And that's what your production is, okay? So we shot this in 4K, we want to master in 4K, then you'll be in 4K, okay? All right, so we have those. If I go to my edit, and turn on my media pool right here, okay? So which one you most likely we will start with the shot here? The close-up, the agent, or the wide shot? All right, wide shots, right? Can we tell the difference between the first take and the second take? Probably not. Not yet, at least. So will I just pick the take one, right? Let's just take one. So I'm going to double click it here. So it's here in our preview. Okay. So let's do a little bit of trimming here because
6 take 5.
we don't need to see the slate and whatnot. Yeah, we're already bringing it to the timeline, but sometimes I leave that because then I don't have to look at the name, right? Because if you put it here, you can go to your up and down arrow. When you're still rough cutting, then you can easily see it without reading the name. So we use this technique to, in a way, catalog your footage while you're still rough cutting. But for our purpose, we don't need to. Okay?
Action.
All right, action right there. So I would say right here would be a good time to mark this in. What is the keyboard shortcut for marking in? I. All right? Or you press this button right here. All right? And then, let's say, for the sake of, we can just run this all the way to the end. It doesn't matter. So I can just drag this into the timeline here. All right? Maybe lower my track height a little bit. And then that's what we have, okay? So when we play this, there's that really weird shaking of the hands, okay? All right, so let's bring in our close-up, right? Let's bring in some close-up here. Maybe we can position that somewhere. And then part of this close-up, it took a while for them to kind of get all this stuff right here going, okay? All right, so right there, so we're still barely seeing our face and whatnot. So let's say right there, okay, around there is where we want to start,
Oh, thank you. I really liked it.
okay, on its way out. Okay, so I'm going to press I or in. I'm going to drag this here. All right, just for the sake of kind of just putting it together, all right? So I'm going to razor blade it here just so we can kind of do a cleanup. And then just kind of roll this down. Just so that, let's see if this thing will actually connect, okay? And we can just work on the other one. So we're just, in a way, rough cutting and final cutting, just for the sake of the continuity lesson.
Thanks a lot. Bye.
The best for your company.
All right, so best of the company.
Thanks a lot. Bye.
Did he actually say that here?
Thank you.
We love the technology.
Thanks a lot. Bye.
The best
Okay,
presentation.
Thank you.
We love the technology.
we love the
The
technology.
best for your company.
He didn't say the same things, okay? He didn't say the same things, so let's take a look at take 2 here. Did he say this? What did he say?
Thank you.
Congratulations on your presentation.
Thank you.
Love the technology from you guys.
I'm glad you liked it. Thanks.
Right, okay.
Bye.
All right, love the technology. Here,
Technology.
Oh, thank you. I'm so glad you really liked it. Thank you.
Wish all the best for your company.
all right, so at least he said technology here.
Fantastic technology.
Fantastic technology, okay? So let's roll that in a little bit.
Thanks a lot. Bye. Oh, thank you. I'm so glad you really liked
All right, anyway, you get the point.
it.
Okay.
Thanks a lot. Bye.
You're gonna have to find that connection right there where that thing would connect. Does that make sense? Okay, so
I'm so
roll
glad you
this
really
in.
liked it. Thank you.
Wish all the best for your company.
hey, right here. So it shows a little bit of her. And then maybe this is the time where we bring back the wide shot, okay? Or let's take a look. Okay, well, it's just a rough cutting, so.
Dr. Kaminsky?
All right, before he gets really angry. this guy is upset. It's upset about a lot of things.
That's great. How are you?
Yeah.
All right, right there.
Dr. Kaminsky?
Yeah.
Okay, attention on her, right? Right there. So we can go back to, let's say, the close-up, right? Let's see. There you go. Something like that. So right here, I'm just going to press I, all right? Then I'm going to drag this in here, just so that we see that portion. Okay, again, it's rough cutting.
Dr. Kaminsky?
Yeah.
Lopez, need you to come right away.
All right.
Is everything okay, Sarah?
Sure. Yeah. I'm.
Okay, and right here, we could go to the agent one from her point of view, because it's like a little donut right there. Just kind of. This is going to be gated. So what it is, it's there's a film gate, and the aspect ratio it's going to be much wider. So those things are just going to go away. They're going to letterbox it. So that's why they don't. Look at the framing. There's so much headroom. So that's how you know this is getting cut, okay? Because this is terrible framing right here. If you just take that.
Dr. Kaminsky?
Yeah.
I'm Agent Jenkins. This is Agent Lopez. Need you to come with us right away.
All right. All right, right there.
Cut.
Cut.
Lopez, need you to come right away.
All right. So let's say just go like this.
Come with us right away.
Sure.
All right.
Is everything okay, Sarah?
So you
Yeah,
probably
I'm-
want to do that when we have a little bit more of her showing.
Sure it is. I'll see. Sure, it's fine. I'll catch up
All
with you
right.
later.
Okay, I'll be around.
Depending on how you want to introduce them and
So we're gonna
whatnot.
tell them
Okay. So this is our rough cut right here.
Congratulations on your presentation.
Thank you.
Okay. Starts with a wide shot, and then we're
Thanks a lot.
that's
Thank
handshake.
You. I'm so glad you really liked it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Wish all the
All
best
right.
for your company.
Goes to the close up,
Fantastic.
and then
Sarah,
kind
how are you?
of reintroduce
Yeah.
back the crowd.
Dr.
The agent,
Kaminsky?
very important. They enter the scene. Okay. So now they're in
Yeah.
the shot. Okay. We don't have to go close up here. We can go just over here also. Okay, just showing them. I mean, but depends on, like I
Right
said, it's a
away.
rough cut.
Sure.
Okay,
Is everything
shows
okay,
like that,
Sarah?
and then we can go back to the close-up. Right there.
Okay, Sarah.
So we get the reaction from her. Okay.
Is everything okay, Sarah? Is everything okay, Sarah?
Sure. Yeah.
Remember this right away.
Is everything okay, Sarah?
So we have actually not a whole lot on the close-up. So probably can't even use that at the end because there's hardly anything in there. So
Yeah.
Remember this right away.
Sure. Is everything okay, Sarah?
okay, so
Yeah.
watch it again.
Congratulations on your presentation.
Thank you.
We love the technology.
Wide shot.
Thanks a lot. Well, thank you. I'm so
Close
glad
up.
you liked it. Thank you.
Wish you all the best for your company.
Fantastic speech. It's great. How are you?
Yeah, we need one of these.
Dr. Sir Kaminsky.
Yeah.
Remember this right away.
All right, it's a rough cut, so don't worry about the missing words and whatnot. But you get the point of the homework. Okay, so you're going to have to edit this so that we don't see any of the any of the visible cuts. Okay, what is the main thing here that we need to worry about? What is the main concern? Oh no, it's going to be straight cut. There's no transitions. It's just
The flow of the story. Yeah.
the flow of the story. Well, we kind of get it though. It's just them talking. They get interrupted. It's always like that on sci-fi. The expert always in a party, and then they get interrupted. They get summoned, or they're on vacation. They get summoned. It's the same story. So, not really the concern. More on technical stuff. What would be the main issue?
Is the volume the same?
Yes, the audio for this one, the close-up especially.
Wish you all the best for your company.
Okay? It's just on her. There's nothing on the other side. So you're going to have to carry in the audio here. So some J and L cutting, okay, which we haven't done yet, but I'm going to show you here. Let's say we want to use the audio for this video to this video here is that first, I don't recommend you deleting audio track. In case you need it back, then you're going to have to do more work. So always just kind of lower the volume if you don't plan to use this part. Make sense? Okay? So if you want to extend the audio for this one, you have to unlink the chain. Once the chain is unlinked, you can select the audio individually, and then you can extend this one independent of the other. Assuming then that you match what she's saying with that audio. Okay? Which can work because look at the,
Thanks a lot. Bye.
okay? There's some parts here where she's like,
Hey.
all right? So that way you can, you'll never match it. Trust me. Okay? But the point is, we can use here the audio right here on her. And then when the agent starts screaming,
That's it. Thank you.
Wish you all the best for your company.
It's great. How are you?
all right?
Yeah, we need one of these.
Dr. Sir Kaminsky.
Okay, which we can never get from the close-up because it's not there, all right? And then the same thing. So this is basically your JL cutting. And make sure when you're done with the unlinking and extending of the audio, you turn this back on because your link chain is used about 90% of the time. You want that on more than off, kind of like you're snapping, all right? It's very hard to do precise edit when your snap tool is on. However, when you're done, you want to turn it back on because you will need it about 90% of the time, okay? So this tool are very important, okay? And you might need to carry over the audio for this one, okay? But we're doing visuals first, okay? So your homework is to put this together, all right? And then make it flow as if there is no interruption. Okay, the key to success here is not really just the visual, okay? It's really the audio. When there's an audio pop, you'll know right away. That's why we always give preference to audio. 51% important, 49 is video. Because with video, you can get away with some visual stuff. Audio, man, you hear that stuff. You're like distracted already. Okay, so no audio pop. Okay, so let's continue our continuity lesson here. What are we looking at when we want to continue certain visuals for this particular shot right here? We can get away with a lot of things here because the close-up don't show the hands. So we don't have to worry about, did we cut when the hand was shaking up or down? We couldn't tell. You see it? They cut it off. However, the angle of her face and the height of her face, okay, looking at eye-to-eye contact right there, is it matching? It is matching because she's got a target. That's why it's so difficult for some actors to play with computer-generated characters when they don't actually see them. They only see a floating tennis ball as the eyeball. It's really hard to connect. Okay? So, all right, so we don't have any cues here or visual issues with it, right? So right here, she handing out some glass or whatnot. Okay, let's see how much this extends. Or when, see, we couldn't even see that. Okay, so right here, what we're looking at, I just imported those in up. And then she's already looking over here. So you look for those connection. Okay? If she's looking eye level, the next shot should be exactly the same. The angle of her face or head is the same, so on and so forth. If she's holding a glass with her right hand, it better be the right hand. How high is the hand, so on and so forth. So you're looking for all these visual connections, okay? And same thing right here, all right? Hard to miss because they're just both looking at her. When we go here, anything can kind of connect, all right? Except his head is tilted. It's not tilted over here. So you look for those, okay? You just can't connect the two because it'll look like a flinch, okay? You might not see it, but once you play it again, then you'll see all these mistakes, okay? So when it comes to connecting and continuity, what are we looking for? We're looking for first visual actions, visual guides, like what we said, position, so on and so forth, angle of the head, match eye level, what they're looking at, right? What else in movies where we look at this? Probably wardrobe. Don't expect all the shots to be shot in the same day. Sometimes they have to take a 2-week break because the actor is not available for 2 weeks. They have to reconvene, put all those back. In 2 weeks, you're not going to remember what everyone is wearing now unless you have your continuity supervisor giving you all those things that they need to be there, right? And it's not just because, let's say, Jeremiah wore yellow and black, and then on the next, in 2 weeks, he wore the same thing, but he forgot, he blinked. I just imported the light yellow, right? So we can't do anything, we could probably fix that in visual effects, but the point is, it has to be the same. So visual and wardrobe, very important, okay? Not only that, if on the shot, Jeremiah, could you show them your sleeve, please? It's all the way across the, all the way to the wrist, and then on the next shot, he pulled it a little bit, then that's a mistake already. So we can't use those shots. So wardrobe is one. Props, of course. If you're using, let's say, a Samsung phone, and then 2 weeks later, your iPhone broke, and he bought a Samsung, we could probably tell because remember what Samsung did with Apple. They just copied all this. Joking aside, let's say he went back to Nokia back in 1995. We can definitely tell there's a chainsaw prop. Okay? What else? What else do we look for continuity when it comes to... I just imported those. What about consumables? Have you seen movies where they smoke cigar? On one shot, the cigar is halfway. On the next shot, it's complete again. Yeah. Because they forgot. Okay? Or when they're drinking consumables. They're drinking juice or wine or beer or whatever. On one shot, they're halfway through the bottle. On the next shot, it's full again. There's only one explanation, right? So while you're not looking, the actor regurgitated all that. Right? And then, yeah, it's a little bubbly, but that's what happens. Why would the bottle be filled again? That's the only explanation. So these things we look for, right? And then finally, cutting on action, right? When we cut in the actual action, All right. So you don't want to cut and give it continuity. All right. You don't want to cut on impact. All right. So imagine this. Okay. Let's give an example. These two again, Jeremiah and Eros, right? So Jeremiah, it's like, hey man, I'm practicing my kung fu. Can I practice on your face? I learned this punch today. All right, and we're shooting a movie, by the way, right? So, all right, and Eros goes like, well, I also learned kung fu taking a punch, so this probably would be a good example today, right? Jeremiah swings at Eros' face, right? Where do we cut? Come on, yell cut. I just imported those. Only got one. And whatever you say.
Cut.
All right, you don't cut here. You don't cut on impact. Never ever. Why? You won't see the impact. So you cut along in the you cut somewhere in between. Okay? So a good one probably, it depends on the angle. If you want a big impact, farther from the face, and on a close-up one, you see the follow-through, you see the impact. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right? But if you cut on impact, not to use your you won't see the action. You will not see it at all. Just imagine it goes, you cut, and then on the next shot, it's still landing. You're not going to see the impact. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay? Same thing when you, let's say, you grab a doorknob. Okay, and it's a horror movie. It's the door to the basement. Okay, and they're afraid to kind of open the doorknob. Okay, so you don't have a shot of them touching the doorknob and cut. You would want to go way before they actually grab the doorknob and then twist it. Does that make sense? So you're always leading to the action, kind of. Okay, you're cutting in action, never on the impact, never on the actual act. Okay, so. And we'll have more examples of that in the future, all right? So we're going to end our continuity lesson here regarding these videos, and are we clear on the homework?
Yes.
All right, so we're going to stop the recording.